The Ottoman Empire. Just the name conjures images of vast armies, powerful sultans, and exotic riches. From humble beginnings in Anatolia, this empire rose to dominate much of the Mediterranean world. At its heart, the sultans, rulers who commanded both faith and armies. Think Suleiman the Magnificent, a ruler who epitomized the empire's peak. His reign saw the Ottoman Empire stretch from the gates of Vienna to the sands of Arabia. This was a golden age. The arts flourished, magnificent mosques and palaces were built, and Constantinople, the jewel of the empire, thrived as a center of trade and culture. But like all empires, the Ottomans were not destined to rule forever. The seeds of decline, though hidden beneath the surface, were already being sown. Cracks were beginning to show in the once impenetrable facade of Ottoman might. The Golden Age, as with all golden ages, couldn't last forever. What followed was a slow, agonizing decline, a gradual unraveling of centuries of power and prestige. The once mighty Ottoman Empire would face challenges both within and without, ultimately leading to its demise on the battlefields of the First World War. The first tremors of the Ottoman decline were felt on the battlefield. For centuries, the Ottoman army was considered an unstoppable force. The Janissaries, the empire's elite infantry units, were renowned for their discipline and loyalty. However, European powers, fueled by the Renaissance and new military technologies, began to challenge Ottoman dominance. The Battle of Lepanto in 1571 saw the Ottoman navy suffer a crushing defeat at the hands of a Holy League fleet. This naval engagement marked a turning point, signaling the beginning of the empire's military decline. On land, the Habsburgs, the Austrian Empire, and later the Russian Empire began to chip away at Ottoman territories. Each defeat, though seemingly insignificant at first, chipped away at the empire's resources and, more importantly, its morale. The once feared Ottoman war machine was now seen as vulnerable. The aura of invincibility, so carefully cultivated for centuries, was shattered. Military defeats weren't the only problem. The Ottoman economy, once the envy of the world, began to falter. The discovery of new sea routes to the east by European powers dealt a severe blow to the empire's control over trade. The Silk Road, once a vital artery pumping riches into Ottoman coffers, declined in importance. European merchants, now sailing around Africa and across the Atlantic, bypassed Ottoman middlemen, finding new sources of wealth and trade. This loss of revenue hit the empire hard. The Ottomans, slow to adapt to this changing economic landscape, found themselves struggling to maintain their vast bureaucracy and military. The once overflowing treasury began to dwindle, further weakening the empire's ability to counter European expansionism. Section 4. Shadows of corruption, weak leadership and internal strife. Adding to the woes, a succession of weak sultans ascended the throne. Gone were the days of strong, decisive rulers like Suleiman. In their place were rulers more concerned with palace intrigues and personal enrichment than with the affairs of the empire. Corruption became rampant. Officials, more interested in lining their own pockets than serving the people, neglected their duties. The once efficient Ottoman bureaucracy, the backbone of the empire, became bogged down in inefficiency and greed. This internal decay further weakened the empire. As the central government lost its grip, local governors and officials became increasingly independent, further fragmenting the empire. The once unified Ottoman state was slowly but surely unraveling from within. Section 5. A nation divided, the rise of nationalism and rebellion. As the 19th century dawned, a new and potent force threatened the Ottoman Empire: nationalism. Inspired by the French Revolution and the ideals of self-determination, people within the empire began to assert their own national identities. The Greeks were the first to rise up, winning their independence in 1829. This sparked a wave of nationalist movements throughout the empire. Serbs, Bulgarians, Armenians and Arabs all began to agitate for greater autonomy or outright independence. These nationalist uprisings were brutally suppressed by the Ottomans, often leading to massacres and further alienating the empire's diverse population. The empire, once a beacon of religious tolerance and cultural exchange, was now seen by many of its subjects as an oppressive force. Section 6. The Great War. A fatal blow to a struggling empire. By the beginning of the 20th century, the Ottoman Empire was a shadow of its former self. It had been dubbed the sick man of Europe, a crumbling empire on the verge of collapse. It was in this weakened state that the Ottomans entered World War I. Hoping to regain lost territories and prestige, the Ottomans allied with the Central Powers of Germany and Austria-Hungary. This proved to be a fatal miscalculation. The war, already a catastrophe for Europe, would prove to be the death knell for the Ottoman Empire. The Ottomans suffered disastrous defeats on multiple fronts. The Gallipoli campaign, a failed Allied attempt to capture Constantinople, saw heavy casualties on both sides but further depleted the empire's dwindling resources. The Arab Revolt, instigated by the British, further weakened Ottoman control in the Middle East. Section 7. From Ashes to Republic, the Birth of Modern Turkey. The Ottoman Empire, unable to sustain the war effort, finally surrendered in 1918. The empire was carved up by the victorious Allied powers, its territories divided into mandates and spheres of influence. The Ottoman Empire, after 6 centuries of rule, was no more. But from the ashes of the empire rose a new nation, Turkey. Led by Mustafa Kemal, a brilliant military commander who had distinguished himself during the war, the Turkish people fought back against the Allied occupation and secured their independence. Kemal, later taking the name Ataturk, meaning father of the Turks, implemented sweeping reforms, transforming Turkey into a secular, modern republic. The Ottoman Empire, once a vast and powerful realm, was gone, replaced by a new Turkey, determined to forge its own destiny in the 20th century.